Hey gang, today we are taking a look at Toy World TW-01 Hegemon. This was picked up at robotkingdom.com and it arrived within like 2 days worth of shipping. So let's go ahead and get them out of the box and take a look. This figure comes with everything you see here, including instructions, an Energon sword, Energon mace, stock, and barrel. To give you an idea of the size of the figure, here is FE Optimus Prime, Voyager class. As you can see, it's a little bit bigger than the current Voyager class figures. The figure also comes with this really nice and very thick collector's card. You have the figure on the front, and then the figure, its weapon mode, and some posing on the back. The robot mode is fantastic. Bottom to top, top to bottom, it is G1 Megatron to a T, and we haven't had a figure like this in a long time. Good job, Toy World. The face of this figure looks amazing. This is, I think, the most accurate face we've ever gotten to G1 Megatron. Something that I do like is he's got fantastic light piping here on the back of the figure, so you can get some truly nice glowing eyes. The orange cap is fully removable, which I do greatly appreciate, and you can always put it back on for when you're shipping this figure here in the US. Now the front of the figure looks great. I think the front of the figure looks phenomenal. It's super. However, the back of the figure does not look so hot. You have all of this red on the inside of the legs, the red back here, the red elbows, just too much red on the back of the figure. Plus you've got some junk in the trunk. Posability of the robot mode is quite good, and I'm quite pleased with it. Head is on a ball joint and a swivel joint, so you can get a lot of motion out of there. Shoulders are ratchet joints, but they do have some in and out movement on another ratchet, though getting it back to the spot is a little bit tough. Elbows are on a swivel, and then they are on another ratcheting joint. Fists on a swivel joint. There is some movement in the torso, but that's part of the transformation. However, there's no movement in the torso below the abdomen. Legs, ratchet joints, they can move in and out as well. Swivel just above the knee, and the knees are on very tight ratchet joints. And then the feet are on ball joints, but there's really not much movement there because of the actual leg dimensions. And then some toe articulation. The sword slides into either hand with no issues, though it is a little bit tight. I will, however, say that you need to be careful because you will pop the hands off very easily if you push the sword down too far. And when those hands come off, they are not easy to get back on. The mace just plugs into the hand and plugs over the hand like that. And you get this very, very cool G1-esque mace look. Personally, I love the mace. I think it is just absolutely fantastic. Don't care for the sword, though. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not my taste. Eagle-eyed viewers may notice that there is a piece of tape just to the side of the head. And that tape goes all the way around to the back of the figure, and it's just a piece of Scotch tape. Or, I'm sorry, maybe Scotch tape or electric tape, or, the kind of tape you put on Christmas presents. Clear tape. Well, when you remove it, it leaves just a nasty residue. I don't know how well that's showing up on camera, but it does leave a nasty residue that I'm going to have to clean off, which sucks. And the other reason it's there is because between the shoulders are these doors that just open and close on their own when you start moving the figure around too much. And that's a pain. It's something that, because of the transformation, I really can't fault them for, but did they really have to put a piece of tape there? Because now I've just got this icky, sticky residue that I'm going to have to clean off somehow. And for the price of this figure, that should not be there. Transformation for this figure is unique, plain and simple. It is a unique transformation, but it does harken back to G1. To start off with, we'll fold the fists up into the forearms, then come under the feet, fold the feet in, and then turn the figure around and fold the feet up into the leg cavities, like that. Next, we'll take the legs and turn them 90 degrees so that the back of the legs are pointing in, and then combine them together, like that, and push them up. Now that we have the legs pushed up, and they only go up to the mid-calf section, or thigh section, sorry, we will then open up the flaps in the chest and fold in the head, like that. There we go, we got the head nice and tucked away. Next, what I like to do is come back here and remove the barrel. This barrel just sits plugged into this peg. I understand why they did that. I don't particularly like it, but I understand why they did it, so you don't have to futz with it when you're transforming. So we'll just put it off to the side for now. So we'll take the arm with the fusion cannon on it and point it straight up like that. And we'll take this arm and unpeg it and point it straight out like that. Take the arms and collapse and slide them together. Next, turn the figure around, and these black bits that are hanging down, fold them out so that they are hanging off of the sides each. And you might pop a ball joint, don't worry. The ball joints normally go back with no problems. So, on the left side of the figure, we're going to actually take this whole side section, and it's supposed to spin around. And then for this side, so we're going to unfold the panels for both of these. And these panels, get back here, will form sections around the stock. And just getting everything in place is by far the hardest. This isn't hard, it's just getting everything lined up is the hard part. Things want to get in your way, and typical Transformers. Now that we have part of the stock done, I'm going to take this section and fold it down like that. Take this section, this section and fold it out. And then detach the whole middle section of the figure. And we'll finally take this section and rotate it around using this section. We then twist the whole thing around again. What that does is that enables us to twist it a little more and then unpeg or unhinge the barrel over here and swing it down. And that will allow us to bring the barrel or the rear of the fusion cannon all the way over and peg it in to this side. And then we can lift this up and peg that into place. And then we get to swing it all the way back. From here, take this section and swing it underneath like that. Take this section and swing it forward like that. Finally, we're going to turn the figure around again. Make sure everything's lined up. Take the trigger and flip it up and have it fall off. And then take the stock and slide that up underneath. And then we can take the pin that the trigger is connected to and flip that down and all the way around. And it's really tight. And that should snap into place underneath, so then we get the triggers. And that will actually snap into place on the stock and hold everything together. And then finally, take the barrel and put the barrel forward and then plug the barrel into place, like that. And there we go! If the gun mode looks a little off, that's because it is. And when I was originally going through the directions, I've transformed this guy a couple of times. Step number 17 wasn't really all that clear. I didn't really figure out what it wanted me to do until just now. There's actually a slider underneath there. So what you need to do is slide the whole assembly unit underneath the barrel such that you can then peg everything into place. So sliding it forward will connect it there, and then that will allow you to take these pegs and peg them into the stock. Now the stock, once you are able to get the figure into gun mode, it does look good. I'm not gonna lie, I really do like the look of this gun. The Walter P38 style is carried over into this form, and it is carried over very accurately, I have to say. However, I do have some issues. One, even though you can get it to stand on its own, it's just a gun. It's not going to do much. But having an adult-sized Megatron-esque weapon is a nice change. I like the fact that it actually has a working safety. That's very nice. Problems, though. It doesn't want to stay together, especially the stock back here and this section of the chamber will not stay on the stock. It looks just a little bit off when viewed from the front. The plastic tolerance, the tolerances for this figure, and by tolerance I mean the tooling tolerance, is very, very small. They crammed a lot of stuff into this figure. That's not to say it's good or bad, but transforming it is a pain in the butt. But not nearly as bad as the Masterpiece figure. So let's go ahead and take a look at the accessories. The barrel extension comes apart, so just pull the muzzle off and then the barrel itself will split apart. Then the stock, simply unpeg from the sides and fold flat like that. The gun, the stock will peg into the bottom of the gun. There are slots underneath the bottom where the gun will peg into, like that. For the barrel, there are a couple of holes drilled to allow the sight to slip into it. So we just put the barrels back together and put the muzzle back on. And here we have TW-01 in gun form. Now, a lot of fans have been wondering what the flat part on the stock is for. Well, it's to hold your arm, to keep your wrist from bending. I love this gun mode. I didn't particularly like transforming it, but getting it into gun mode, it's awesome. And with the attachments and the extension, the barrel extension, plus muzzle silencer, it's just freaking sweet. Again, for a size comparison, here is first edition Voyager class Optimus Prime from Transformers Prime. As you can see, the gun mode's pretty darn big. Toy World has really done a good job here. I think this is a fantastic first figure for them. There are a few minor issues. Specifically, the plastic does feel a little bit on the cheap side, and the figure itself, I just feel like it has this sense of fragileness to it. That's a little bit hard to explain unless you've actually held the figure. The arms are a little bit on the floppy side, especially holding the Energon weapons, as those Energon weapons are heavy, and they just make the arms fall flat straight down. But other than those two minor gripes, this figure is quite good and quite excellent. It looks good, and its transformation is complex without being overly crazy. It's definitely not as insane as the Masterpiece Megatron, however. Should you pick this one up? At $99, it isn't cheap. Like I said, I got this off of Robot Kingdom, and I'm not entirely sad about my purchase. I like this guy a lot. The gun mode seals it for me. The gun mode is fantastic, especially with the accessories, and the robot mode is really, really good looking. Like I said, it's a great first figure for Toy World.